Welcome to the Cup of Joe Show, the podcast where Senator Joseph Cryan talks about the latest in New Jersey's 20th Legislative District. This week's guest, Assistant Town Administrator for the Township of Union, Bill Reyes.
Hello, everybody. It's time for another Cup of Joe, and I'm thrilled to be here today with the Assistant Town Administrator here in the Township of Union, Bill Reyes. Bill, we have this program, and we're honored to have you today. Thanks for coming by.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to the conversation. Today, I think we're going to talk a lot about the Union Library.
Yes.
You know, what we try to do here, Bill, is give folks updated information in terms of what's happening around the 20th District, and we're thrilled that people take a few minutes and join us. And today, we really want them to know what's going on with the Union Library. Bill, I think you've been the spearhead of the library project here in the Township of Union. And there's quite a bit of work that's gone into it. People see the building, people aren't sure. So I hope that by the end of our conversation today, folks will know what's happening, when it's coming online, and all the activities that are going on with it. There's a lot that went on to the work with this library. There's a whole vision and a process that was part of it. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. This project actually started, I would say, 3 to 4 years ago, probably more like 4 years ago, when we started talking about renovating the old library, because we had some state funding that grant opportunities, and we were going to go in for it and see what we could do. But then we decided along the way that the more we talked about it and we understood the importance of the library to the community and to Union, that we decided to go for a new building. And so that process obviously took a little bit of time to get together and get all the folks together. And we actually reached out to Potter Architects, Tom Potter. And as you know, his father has built half of Union. And you know, we reached out to them again, and we got that team, and we sat down and really thought about what the library in 2025 and beyond would be for Union. So, yeah, it's been a long journey. I would say about 4 years, but it's been a great process, and here we are. We're close to opening, so we're excited.
Well, before we talk about the opening, I do want to. So, the Potter Architects actually were the designers of the original library, were they not?
They were. They were the designers of the original. It was exciting for them as well to be a part of this project. I know that Tom took great pride in it, as he does in all of his projects, but this was a special one to him.
And the Potter family, I believe, dates back to the Revolutionary War times here in the town of Union.
That's why I said they built half of Union.
It's a nice continuity thing. So with that said, if I recall right from our just chatting before we started this podcast, the library being replaced was built in the late 50s. Do I have that about right?
That's right. It was built in the late 50s. Okay. And it was about, I believe, 35,000 square feet. Okay. And about 35 feet high. And I'll tell you why that makes a difference, because the new library is about 46,000. So we gained about 10,000 square feet. And ours now is 55 feet high. So we also dug 10 feet into the ground. And we were able to do that with engineering work, and to be able to actually create a plaza that was never there before. So this plaza, and I'll get more into it, but it's exciting because it adds another entrance to it, to a whole nother level that was never there before. So we gained about 20 feet in height, and about 10,000 square feet in total, which is significant.
So when you think about a visual for folks, if you're coming on Morris Avenue, even though technically I think that's the back of the library,
True.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
But to those of us that use that entrance for years, you would walk up a number of steps, just like you do to Town Hall. And right. Yet today now it looks like it'll be obviously a significantly different way.
Yes. Now you drive into the parking area right in front of it, and you can walk right onto a new plaza, and you can walk right into the lower level. And if you want, you can also, there's a new walkway that goes around the side of the building to go to the front of the library, which is actually on Bond, and you can go through the main entrance that way as well.
So talk to me a little bit about, when we were kids, it was the Dewey Decimal System, right?
The
Dewey Decimal, you find science and go find your card. And
I hated when somebody pulled the one that you needed.
Always
couldn't find it.
Always did that, and when you needed that project for seventh grade.
Right. Yes.
But kidding aside, the libraries, what they mean to communities, part of your feedback. I know you took a lot of consultation from a number of different folks. Can you talk a little bit about what you learned about the evolution of libraries and what they mean to a community before you talk about this particular project?
Sure. And, this is important because a lot of people, I think, that maybe criticize libraries in 2025 being built are short-sighted in that they don't understand that a library is not just a place to go and take out a book for a month and then return it. It's not that at all. It is a center of a community. It is a place where the digital divide is, the gap is lessened. It's where people come in for job training. It's for people to come in to do yoga. It's for people to learn how to cook. It's for children to come in and start opening their imaginations to worlds and worlds that are different than what they can do on their phone and on their tablets. It's really a community space. And then we've also added another component, which is the Arts Center. So this is enriching people's lives with music, theater, film, and all those things put together makes what this new library is. It's not just about the books that you can come in and just take out for a month and then return. It is that, but so much more. And that came all about from listening to the residents and talking about what they liked about the current library and the offerings and about what they were looking forward to. So during that process, we understood that we needed science labs. We needed areas where students and residents can come in and study either small pods or large pods. We understood that there was a need for a sensory room. And so we took all those elements and some other things, and we really worked hard with Potter and the engineers and everyone to put not just a library together, but really a community center with a library in it and an arts center. So I think everybody's going to be pretty impressed with what we were able to do with the feedback from everyone and the concepts of how to make this a library, not just for today, but for decades to come.
I was driving with a mayor one day through his community, and his library wasn't going particularly well. He made a comment to me that your library defines your community. Never left me, and I think many folks would agree with that. So talk a little bit more about the evolution, how the design came in, and then, kind of transition over to the highlights. But in the planning, the library board, governing body, was there a lot of neighborhood? You mentioned it a little bit about feedback. Can you talk a little bit more?
Sure. I mean, we obviously, when we decided to go from the renovations to the actual creation of a new library, then it was important to us to start with the stakeholders, right? So the library board members, obviously input from them as far as what they knew from what they found out from the community and from their interactions with people, what people wanted from a library. And then obviously the committee members also, obviously they're out there every single day speaking to residents, and we brought in their feedback. And we really sat down with Potter and the engineers and just sat down and started going almost floor by floor and talking about what can we do to enhance every single element and to what has everyone wanted from a library that they weren't getting from the original one that was there. And so literally just sitting down for hours and taking notes and putting them all together. And then once we gave that all information to the engineers and to Tom Potter and his folks, then there was a first concept. And so then it was back to introduce it to the library board and the committee members. And we sat there again and talked about what we can improve on it. Because, it's first draft, so it's the first one to start making improvements. And this happened for quite a few months. And if we had ever had any questions, then we reached out to folks that knew about library construction and knew about library flow. I mean, there is a science behind how libraries work and how to design them. And we really took a lot of time to make sure that we were putting those elements into the new library.
So talk some more. So talk to us a little bit about what's in the 46,000 square feet and the 55 feet high. What's new? What should residents kind of look forward to?
Yeah, so one of the things that we did obviously was we walked into the old library and we were like, okay, well, what do we need to improve? And one of the things was lights, and one of the things was space. And so when you walk into this library in June, you're going to just your eyes are literally going to go from the floor to the top. It is just an amazing, amazing view with lots of lights and lots of natural light and a lot of space. And what you're going to see right off the bat is that we put an emphasis to computers and technology. Right off the bat, you walk in and you're going to see an area full of computers for the business area, business center area, and also a row of computers for folks to come in and access the internet and have access to computer. A lot of people forget that not everyone has a computer in their home, or not everyone has the best internet at home. And this goes to the notion of you have to think about equity and inclusion when it comes to the digital divide. And this is going to eliminate that gap, help eliminate that gap. And then once you go into this space, you're going to start then noticing that you have a terrific layout of books that's easy to navigate in and out of. We put carpeting that matched the area that you're in. So if you're in the adult area, it's a one color. If you're in the children's area, it's another color, teens and etc. So it's color coded. It's easy to navigate. And then you see a little surprise, which is an outdoor area, which was never there before, an outdoor patio. Wonderful area that you can go outside and read one of the books, read a magazine, or just literally just sit outside and just kind of be and enjoy the outdoors. Then you come back in and you see that there's a bunch of rooms that you can go in and you can study quietly. They're all closed off, and it's first come, first serve. But you can sit there and do your homework. You could do a project for work, or you can work with other students or other people and collaborate. And there's two-person room to a multi, 4 and bigger rooms. And you could do that just by going to the desk and asking for access to the room. And then you keep walking and you just see an expansive level reading area for children, for toddlers. And then you can start seeing the labs. And we even have a podcast room as well. And then you're still just on the first floor. You haven't even gone upstairs. And it's wonderful. Once you go upstairs, you have these vaulted ceilings, huge, wonderful light, great views. By the way, you can see the city from the main boardroom. And this is the adult collection. And we have a special area that we call the living room nook. We actually got inspired by this by visiting other libraries. And we were actually at a community center, and we saw this little area with a fireplace. And it just felt like you were at grandma's house, just kind of nice and comfortable. And so we put a library nook area, which has a fireplace and some oversized chairs. So you really can just relax and really just immerse yourself in the book that you're reading or any material that you have in front of you. And then you have another area where you have audio and visual and digital things that you can also take out. And you then go to the expansive area where it's just adult collection, which is expansive, and another outdoor patio, which is a little bit smaller, but you can still have some quiet time upstairs. And those are the first 2 floors, and that's the amazing thing when you walk into this library. It's your senses are going to be alive, and you're just not going to know where to go because you want to go everywhere and go and visit each area. But it's really, really exciting. And I'll get to the first floor and the other questions because I know.
No, I want you to get there. I do think it's important that we tell folks, and shame on me. Bill, when do we anticipate the library being open?
Sure. So we're anticipating the grand opening weekend to be June 6th. And that's for the opening of the Art Center. And then June 7th and 8th are going to be for the main library area.
Okay. And before we talk about the other floors, you mentioned adults being able to take a break. I have had residents say to me, what do you need a library for? Right? And it's a digital age and all the things that go with that. One of the images that always stays with me is even in the old library, which wasn't technically great, in terms of technology itself, I should be more clear about that, were how many folks I saw trying to do their resumes and update their resumes and out for job searches and things like that. So, which is stressful. Anybody that hasn't put together a resume will tell you just how difficult that is, especially if you're doing it and you can't afford a professional and you're doing it yourself. So somebody in the midst of that can go out, get a cup of coffee, sit outside, kind of collect their thoughts and be able to continue to do their work, or have that private area alone if they want to. There's Wi-Fi access there. Am I right about that?
In the entire building, that's right.
Okay, so it services a lot of different needs, and that's just 2 floors done so far.
Just 2 floors.
So tell us about the rest of the 46,000 square feet.
Okay, so if you go on the Morris Avenue side entrance, which is a brand new plaza, this plaza, when you go into it, it has pavers and it has bollards for safety, and we're going to do outdoor activities as well. We're going to use this space for the farmers market that's coming back that had to go away for a year or so because of the construction, but now it's going to come back, and we're going to use that plaza space, and we're going to have other outdoor events, and we're going to utilize that space. So that 46 really is even plus that. And then you go in and you immediately you see a gorgeous space. I mean, I'm talking about quality, high quality space where you're going to have Union TV. Their brand new studios are going to be held there. They're going to have a podcast section as well, and obviously there are new studios there, green screen and everything included. Then you're going to see to the right a cafe, brand new cafe that's going to be able to cater to when we have events in that space. If you go down the hallway, you're going to have a multi-digital room that can be divided into 2 that you can host anything from computer labs to seminars, and even use as extra space for the theater. Talking about this theater, when you go to across the way, there is a brand new theater, 150-seat theater, which is absolutely fantastic. It is top notch. We've had professionals go in there already to check it out and give us, give us advice on lighting and audio and everything, and they absolutely love the space. And that is a multifaceted room where we can take the seats away and have an open floor space, or we could put in all 150 seats. And that's going to be able to show films, have lectures, spoken word, to do shows, musicals, bands will be able to perform. Behind there is a green room area where performers could go. There's a dressing room, showers, there's places for the costumes. I mean, it's a full theater, and we're really excited about that. And then in the middle is the Union Art Gallery. And this is a terrific space with all 3 out of the 4 walls are in glass. So you'll be able to see the artwork in there at all times while you're in that space. Even if it's closed for some reason, you'll still be able to see the thing. And while we were there, we said, this isn't enough. Why don't we use the walls in the hallways as art space? And so we were able to put the brackets in there that you need to be able to hang the artwork. So it's when you walk in, it's no doubt you're in an art center, and it's wonderful. Oh, and one thing, once you're in the back, you were going to see this awesome, great, I think it's like 20 feet tall mural that depicts starting from the bottom, which is looking at imagery from the arts, and as you walk your way up to the first level of the library, it gets into the literary and the books and the visuals of a library. It's going to be a really incredible mural. Can't wait to show it off to everyone.
So the mural will take you through the journey of the library.
Yes.
That's exciting.
It is.
So let's talk about the theater a little bit. Yeah. So is the idea to promote local artists, allow creativity from residents to be expressed? Is that the idea?
That is the idea. So we're going to team up with the American Theater Group, which is a wonderful group of professionals that put on performances. And they're going to come in and help us bring in top-notch performances to the theater. At the same time, they're going to help us to schedule all the other events that are going to go on in that space. So this space is available to all residents. If you have if you want to put together a spoken word event, you can do so. If you have a play that you want to showcase, you can do so. We've already spoken with the high school and with the Board of Education to bring some of their activities that they normally host to stage. And actually, the other day, I was with one of the merchants here on Stuyvesant, and they're opening up a space where teens and children are going to start doing performances. And I said, oh, well, when you're ready for those performances, when they're done, put them on a big stage. We'd love to have you. And he said that's a great idea. So it's just literally going to be a theater for the community, but also a space that you're going to bring in some great talent to the stage. Even that opening night, you're going to have some current Broadway performers there.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, but I do want to chat about one thing before we talk about opening night. And excuse me. It's been a big transition, right? The town has moved the library over to its current space, although it's closed now for transition, but it's on Stuyvesant Avenue, correct?
That's correct.
Right. And so talk a little bit about that. Has there been a lot of stress or difficulty in terms of the temporary library or the transition over, or are we in a good spot?
No, we're in a good spot. For us, it was important to also make sure that everyone had access to all the books that they normally could get. So 2 years ago, when we started making the plans out and we found this incredible space on Stuyvesant, we made sure that residents could get any of the books, and they could. And we did that by having the entire collection stored in 2 different locations. And so that the staff could at any time get any book from the collection or any video or any audio cassette that they needed and DVDs. So that was important to us to really keep that. So at no time did any resident or any library patron ever lose access to any books. And in fact, during that time, we actually gained access to books by getting part of a wonderful program. And I think I'm just looking at my notes here. I think it's this Stella is the name of the program that we were a part of, and that gave access to at least another 1 million books. And that's because we are a part of a consortium of 40 libraries that are in Union County, Middlesex, and Monmouth County, and so we did a great job in just being able to offer everything and a little bit more, and much more actually, during that transition time. Now that we're getting close to opening, the location at Stuyvesant is closed, and that's to help with the move. So everybody's starting to pack that location up, and then all those things are going to go over to the library. Actually, today is Monday, and we started moving books today. So that's exciting, very exciting. Now for that space, it's such a wonderful location. It has parking, and it really brought a lot of people to downtown when they came in to get their books. They then went and looked for something to eat or something to drink. And so we want to keep that space active. So we started already having conversations with the Board of Education to possibly do something with them in collaboration to make sure that that space stays active and helps the community out as well.
So let's move on to the grand opening and the big weekend ahead. But understanding everything you've laid out here brings people into Union Center, right? Which helps the shopping experience and helps the community overall, whether it's that restaurant or whether it's a retail experience. But the library, as much as anything else, should be an economic driver. Am I right about that?
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to help that along as well. We're going to be able to offer discounts to restaurants and to other services if you come into the library. When you come to see a theater show, there's no reason why you shouldn't come in and have dinner at one of our many restaurants. And we're going to provide the ability to do that and get discounts and partner up with all those restaurants so that they take advantage of it. Also, if you're at the library and you're done, there's no reason why you can't grab a cup of coffee or do some other sort of shopping. So yeah, we're going to merge this and treat it as a business because it is to us another entity that is part of the economic engine of the center. Absolutely.
So let's talk about the big opening weekend.
Perfect.
Okay. Tell us about it.
So June 6th, which is Friday, 5:30. We're going to open the doors and we're going to start letting people come into the new plaza that I talked about. And this evening is going to be a red carpet event. Literally a red carpet event. The premiere movie theater lights that you see flashing around, we're going to have those as well. We're going to have the ability of taking your picture in front of a step and repeat. And it's just literally, you're going to feel like you're at a premiere of a movie. It's going to be fantastic. So before anyone goes beyond the doors, you're in the plaza, and we're then at that point going to, gather everyone, do our speeches, and then do a great ribbon cutting. And then when you walk in, you're just going to be immersed in that space that I told you about. That's going to be terrific. Once you get in, you're going to have a couple of things that you can go to and just kind of mingle. We're going to have a caterer there that's going to give out some food, and you're going to be able to have some cocktails, some mocktails. And once we get into about 6:45, when people have a chance to walk around, we're going to do the dedication of the art gallery. And unfortunately, Winston Young, who is the artist that we've selected for that day, can't be there that day. So we're going to do a little something special for him a week or so after the grand opening, but his art is going to be there. And you have artwork of his in your windows.
It's outstanding.
Phenomenal.
Guy's
Phenomenal.
great.
He's
Great.
so good. And he's upset that he can't be here for that night, but he's going to come back to us. So we're going to unveil his work. We're going to unveil the art gallery. And then we're going to unveil the theater, and this is a special theater, DMK Theater. That's the name of the theater. It's named after Douglas Michael Kruger, who passed away, who was a young man who went to Union High School and had a rising career in theater, and his life was cut short. And so we're going to honor the theater with his name, and we're going to have an unveiling. And once we do the unveiling, there's going to be a tribute video of his that was put together. It is a tearjerker. I mean, he was such a fantastic young man. And once we're going to do that, the special performance is actually going to be high school alumni pack members performing art, coming back to do performances. So far, I think we have about 25 of them.
Really?
Yes. They're all excited to do this, by the way. One of them is Steele Burkhart from Broadway, from Aladdin, and I believe the musical. He's coming, and they're all coming, and they're doing different scenes from some of the musicals that they were a part of when they were in Union High School back in the day.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah, this is really exciting. And then, so that's going to be for about an hour or so. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back. And then the American Theater Group, which I spoke to you about, how they're going to come in and help us with some performances, they're coming in and they're bringing in Broadway Tales and Tunes. And this is about another hour behind-the-scene look of Broadway. And this is going to be with veteran theater critic and insider Peter Felicia. And he's coming in and he's going to talk about like the gossip and the rumors and all the behind the scene things that happen on Broadway. And he's going to do this for about an hour or so.
It's the info we want to know.
It's the behind the screen scene stuff that you want to do. And that's how the theater ends about 9:30 or so. In the meantime, during that, there's also tours. You could also go into the new TV studio and do interviews, and just be able to just enjoy the space. It's a 150-seat theater. It's not going to be big enough for everyone. This is going to be a 300, 400-person event. We know that. So what we did is we're going to have the ability for everyone that can't get into the theater to be outside and see everything that's going on inside the theater and hear everything. So no one's going to miss anything that's happening inside that theater. So it's just going to be a wonderful night. We are asking people to dress up for it because it is a premiere night. So definitely just going to be a special evening that we can't wait to showcase.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
And we're talking about Friday, June the 6th. And then that weekend, there's also activities.
Yes. So then let's go to Saturday. So Saturday, we are going to start at the location of the current library, the one that just closed on Stuyvesant Avenue, and we're going to do a parade. So we are inviting different organizations, everything from the soccer club to the Boys and Girl Scouts. We're putting signs in Vauxhall at library and online for people to sign up, their children to be part of the parade. First 150 children get T-shirts with the new logo of the building, and then some of them are going to get actual books that are about like 10, 20 size. Times the size of a regular book, and they're going to actually hold it in the parade. So anything from Harry Potter to the Hungry Caterpillar, and then they're going to actually have live characters that are going to walk with them as well. And so we're going to start from there, and we're going to go to Morris, and then we're going to make a left, and then we're going to self-master, and then make a right onto Bond, and then right into the new library space area. Then we're going to have a seated area outside. And we're going to gather everyone, and we are going to have the marching band. I forgot. I'm sorry. The high school marching band is going to lead us. That's exciting. So when we get there, we're going to have some music. We're going to sit down and then get to hear all the speeches that everyone waits to hear when there's a grand opening of this type. And then we're going to do another ribbon cutting, and then everybody's going to be able to go inside. And then once you go inside, you're just going to have a bunch of different activities inside. Everything from Lego building battle. Cartoonists will be there as well. We're going to have a library book sale from the Friends of the Library. And then we're going to do a silent dance party downstairs. Have you been a part of that?
I have not, no.
No.
Could you explain to our listeners?
Sure. A silent dance party is we're going to take the seats out of the theater, and we're going to make it into a dance hall, and you get headphones, and then you get to pick the music that you want to listen to, and then you rock out and dance to the music that you have on your headphones. And this is a way for families not to be overwhelmed with those Jersey Shore, speakers just booming, like moving your body, and be able to enjoy a little dance and a little fun and creativity in a safe and fun environment. So we're going to do a dance party. We're going to do some origami. We're going to do Disney sing-along. And then in the evening time, downstairs, we're going to have the Broadway Tales and Tunes, but the full 90 minutes. So you're going to get some of the stories that you didn't hear in the first night. They're going to come back, and you can enjoy that for the evening.
It sounds like a great family day.
It is. It is absolutely. You can spend the entire day there and have a great time. So that's Saturday.
It's a Disney sing-along, too. We kind of...
I know.
Beauty and the Beast.
Everything. I am not singing at that, but but it's still going to be fun.
Okay. And then Sunday?
So Sunday normally the library is closed, but it is not closed this weekend. It's open from this is June 8th from 12 to 4, and we're going to do a local author expo. So we've reached out to Union residents who have written books, published books, and they're going to come in, and you're going to be able to visit each one of them and talk to them, learn more about their books, and get autographs, get pictures, and you can do that downstairs in the theater as well. Again, you can see how this space is really, really multifunctional. And then we're going to do music and movements with Boogie Woogie Babies from 1 to 2 in the main floor. And it's a movement and music program for babies, toddlers, and even big people. So you could just move along with them. Another book sale by the Friends of the Library, more origami. We're going to do a Zing Zone, design your own page in a book, in a magazine that's going to be put together. So that's fun. And then that ends around 4. And then we're going to do, it's also the start of Pride Month. So at 3 o'clock, we're going to do a Pride flag raising outside, and then we're going to come in and we're going to do a Pride program downstairs in the theater area with a Broadway theme, and that goes until 6 o'clock. So another full day.
Action-packed weekend.
Absolutely.
So for our folks hearing this, for the Union Library, they can look forward to an exciting opening weekend beginning on Friday, June the 6th.
Yes.
And continuing with a full action-packed weekend through the 7th and the 8th. And then the library will be open for regular business?
Yes. And then from then on, you'll have regular business hours.
Okay. And the events and the things like that will also obviously be town website, I'm assuming?
Town website, library website as well, and social media.
Okay. Exciting times coming up.
Oh, it really is. Oh, one other feature that's also new that the other library didn't have was a drive-through. So we put a drive-through that you can pick up and drop off books. It has its own schedule, so you have to just watch out for that. But it's another exciting feature for folks that are on the go and just need to pick up something real quick and go.
As you think about the old library and then you think about the new, you realize how times change, right? 1959, we had black and white TVs and two stations, and today we communicate with phones and technology that take us to another world. And now we have a library that reflects that transition. It puts us in a position for the years to come. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And it's just it's a wonderful space that really has technology behind it. But at the same time, we made sure that great feel of walking into a library and just being able to grab a book is still there as well. So
it's still the best feeling in the world.
It really is.
It is. Bill, thank you for all your hard work.
Welcome. Thank you.
We appreciate it. It's exciting. So, folks, if you're listening, and our headline will say it, Friday, June the 6th, Saturday the 7th, Sunday the 8th. Make plans now. Be part of the Union Library opening. you'll be able to tell everybody about it.
Yep, and I'll give you some information if you want more. The website that you can go for events is uplnj.org. That's the library's website. And then Union Public Library NJ for Instagram and Facebook. And then on the Township side, our website is twp.union.nj.us. And our social media tag is TWP Union NJ, Facebook, Instagram, and X.
That's wonderful. Keep reading, everybody, and we'll see you out on the weekend of June the 6th. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for joining us. Real pleasure.
That's a wrap on this episode of A Cup of Joe, hosted by Senator Joseph Cryan. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you again for another cup.